Weekend Shed. So today I'm going to be building a dedicated workbench for the lathe. So I am going to do it with like a limited tool project. You definitely do not need a miter saw. I'm just going to be using that for ease of use. So all you really need is a skill saw, a cordless drill, a tape measure, pencil, a load of screws, and that's pretty much it. I am going to be countersinking and pre-drilling. Then the lumber you will need is ideally 2x6s, but I've got some 2x8s, just had them lying around. And then here are the main cross members. Then loads of 2x4s or 4x2, however you say it, legs. So I'm going to be building it identical to the other two of my benches. So we make two frames, we put the cross members on, and then we mount the top, and that's the exact same for the other bench. So for the actual tabletop itself, we're going to be using some floorboard. Always used it, and it's always worked really well. Alright, so I've gone ahead and cut the 8x2s down to size. So they're just scrap now. You probably saw me fumbling around with that because the boards are so heavy and so big. But now they're both down to the same size. So next up, what we need to do is we need to determine how high the bench is going to be. So this bench is about 75 centimeters off the floor, and that is from the top, and I find it very low. And you always, if you're turning, you have to get the right height between spindle and you, and obviously the way you hold the tool, how you stand, and everything affects it. Alright, so we've got all four of the legs cut. So I went with 34 centimeters or 340mm. So now what we need to do is determine the width of the bench. So the width is going to be determined by these cross members up here and up here. So this bench is pretty wide. I'm not quite sure on the dimensions, but the lathe obviously is not that big. See, there's the actual bolt and carriage down here, and I want to leave, so let's say we'll leave to here to there. So it's going to be a pretty thin bench, and it's going to be sitting here, and I don't really want it to have that much of an obstruction. So now we have two of the 2x4s cut, and then two of the 8x2s cut. We are near enough ready for assembly. All we have to do now is cut and rip the actual tabletop. This is a little something of how it's going to look. So here is one of like the frames. So the 8x2, 4x2, and the legs. Then these sandwich it. Then obviously you've got the tabletop. So we'll start screwing now. So I went to pre-drill the first hole, and where is it? There. My bit snapped. So now I'm using this bit. It's pretty big. The screws I'm using are pretty big as well, so I'm going to drill a through hole in this 2x4, let the screws all the way through and let it bite in the cross member, and I do the same obviously for this side. So now this is fixed on here, and then what I will do is put a sash clamp across here and do the exact same for the 8x2. I've just realised that the lighting and that camera angle is the worst I've ever done, but I'm going to still put it in the video. Right, so here is one of the two complete cross members. So obviously with the 8x2 up top and then the 4x2 down the bottom. So we've just got to do that one more time with the one at the other end. Right, so that's both frames done. So obviously here they are. Both identical really. So 2 screws in each side of the 2x4. Just take the tripod. So 2 screws and all the 3 screws. So now what we're going to do is actually start to assemble the bench. I've done a bit of a dry fit and I also put the bevels on. So here's the dry fit. Looking pretty good. So just with the clamps on, I am very confident that I can sit on the bench and my feet completely off the floor. For some reason it's rocking a tiny bit, and I'm just going to try and fix that. So I'm going to put a tiny little slither to go under this leg, and then I'll try and pin it on and see if that has any difference. So I've gone ahead and put the small little slither under it, and it's sorted absolutely everything out. Obviously we want this to be as stable as possible because it's going to have my lathe on. So now what we're going to do is, between the 2 bottom 4x2s, I'm going to be putting a piece of 3x2, and then we'll be putting some OBS plywood on there at a later date for a shelf. But first of all, we will put these screws in to actually support it. Alright, so I have now obviously screwed the actual bench together. So I'll take the clamp off. Alright, so obviously now the bench is holding itself together. So that's a plus. Alright, so now what we'll do is, probably going to put some more screws in actually. There we go. Now bear in mind this surface bench is on, it's not level. Right. So, alright, I'm not quite sure why they're moving. I think we could do with some longer screws. But obviously the cross member I'm going to put in now is going to fix all of that. Right, so I've added the 2 support braces because that will stop the bench from rocking whatsoever or moving, so I can drag it around the workshop with the lathe on, which weighs an absolute ton. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brad nailer to tack on the small little slither which I cut earlier. So here is the little slither, not very big. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack it on with some brads. So they're the size of brads I'm using. So right, so the whole of the footage of me actually attaching the tabletop to the bench was all corrupted as soon as I put it into the editing software for whatever reason. So this is the next day, and obviously I have now mounted the lathe. So obviously this came across from here, and it took me about half hour to put the lathe on, and it's definitely a lot better. The turning height is definitely a lot more comfortable. Obviously I've mounted the switch arm. I just got to sort the cables out, and then I have to put my light rig, I'll put that up to the wall, and then I will also make some new tool storage for all of obviously the turning tools. And what I'm hoping to do now as another project is underneath the bench have some small little drawer runners for my sandpaper boxes and other things like that, so they don't get full up with sawdust and chippings. So obviously everything is working fine now, and so basically what happens is the lathe just mounts by these huge great big bolts, and if I can I will try and show you underneath. There's one bolt, and then the other one is just around here, in which is there, if it wants to focus, and then obviously it comes up and it goes right under, and then obviously the other bolt is just here. So overall I don't think I could have really done anything better, apart from maybe put some dados or notches in there, and that's pretty much it. So obviously I cut the table size to the top, and I've also rounded over the corners to make it A, look a bit nicer, and B, just be a bit more comfortable when you're working at it. So guys, thanks for watching this Kid in the Shed video. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you go on to make your own one. See you in the next one. Bye for now.